At the starting of the week, at Summit Talks you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See those leaders start.
She was just a baby. Hey, waitress, pour me another cup of coffee. Pop it down, jack me up, shoot me out, flying down the highway. Looking for the morning. Ooh, I'm driving my life away.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Lefty with Left Lane. Volume's all kind of messed up here. Yeah, I've been dealing with stuff all day, trying to get things done, trying to get things straightened out. Hang on. Yeah, it's just been one of those days. I'm still sending out notices just to let y'all know. Just gotta bear with me for a minute. Well, while we're doing that,
We are heroes, heroes in the darkest time when there is no light. We are heroes, heroes in the dark. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move that could be my last. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal.
Rolling like Jesse James, the modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. Modern day outlaw game. We're the last of the cowboys.
all right, so I'm back. Oh, man. There you go. Not any better. There we go. All right, I'm gonna add this gentleman to the screen here. What's up, Mr. Scott? How are you doing today?
What's going on, Charlesy? Not a whole lot, buddy.
Not much. Nothing much. I just wanted to get on here tonight because I need to talk about a situation that happened earlier this morning. Real quick, we need to. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, or good evening, I should say. Good evening, Michael. My day has been so screwed up. It's pathetic. Got a little bit. Yeah, I know. I got a little bit of echo in there. hopefully I got that solved now. Had some issues. I've had to redo the StreamYard. So I'm having to put everything back together. Just to let y'all know that if I'm having a little bit of technical errors, it's because I've had to redo because they changed to a different platform on this. I've been doing a lot of rebooting, resetting up. So it's just taking me a little bit to do it. I'm also sending out the invites into the groups. So that's going on. But tonight it's going to be about safety. It's going to be about what needs to be going on and being prepared and being aware of your surroundings. Like I said, I'm still sending out into the groups. As soon as I can get back into the groups, just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry for this. It's taking a
You're
little
doing
bit longer
good.
to get it done.
You're doing good,
It's just
Charles.
taking me a little bit longer. Hang on, getting it into the pages. All right, we're gonna post. Yep. Yep, there we go. All right, yep, we're putting that in there. The link should be in the left lane with Lefty. The link is in there. I'm also going to put it in the left line, so that way whoever wants to come on and join, has any comments of anything that's going on with it, they can come in and say their piece about it, because there's been some serious issues and no one's talking about it, but it needs to be said. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Here, let me do this real quick. I got one more I want to do. Where are you at? It's hiding on me. Yeah, this stuff ain't popping up like it should be. But I'll do enough. I caught James. He works for Caterpillar. That's one of their mechanical cats. That's actually a 3400B or 3406B cat. They also have another one. It's called the Reaper. Yeah, he's turned up. Scott, you got your TV up? We can hear it in the background.
All right, hang on a minute.
All right.
Is that better?
Yes, sir. Much better. Much better. I got a call about 10 o'clock this morning from a buddy of mine that works for Snyder Trucking. He let me know that there was a problem this morning. There's 4 cities in California: San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and shoot, I'm trying to think of all. There's another one that's a little further north. Y'all need to be careful and pay attention to what's going around you in your surroundings. Especially if you're running in between midnight and 4 a.m. He was running with a couple other drivers, and what happened was they had a car come up flying. They thought they were speeding. Just a bunch of kids running around trying to drag race going down the interstate. They said they were doing about 100 miles an hour when they flew by them in their trucks. And when they did, he was in the second truck. There was a guy in front of him. He seen it slow down and back up, and all they knew is the back window come down, and gun bullets started firing. They weren't firing at the driver, but they were firing and aiming for the fuel tank. They were aiming for the airlines and the tires. So just to let y'all know, y'all need to be paying attention. The DOT out there are not letting it know what's going on. But he was, his truck ended up with like 8 or 9 bullets. The guy in the front had 5 or 6 down the side of his truck. When they got stopped and checked and got a hold of an officer, they knew of this situation. They said it's been going on for 2.5 to 3 months. they were not able to catch this guy yet. So I'm letting y'all know, anybody that's in California, y'all need to pay attention to your surroundings. If you have to run in between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., this can happen on any given day. This has happened this morning in between 2 and 3 this morning on a Sunday that this happened. So I'm trying to get everybody aware of what's going on, that this needs to be paid attention. It's definitely something that needs to be taken not lightly. Let me get over here. I said a little bit of peace here. Let me get to the guys over here in chat. Dave Newland says, hey, Lefty. Let's see what else he's got. Dave says, hi, Scott. How are you? Dave is just now uploaded a tanker, and I don't do that very often.
Just another thing, everybody needs to watch their surroundings everywhere.
Yeah, of what's going on. It's getting to the point that this stuff is getting ridiculous out here. Another thing is on the surroundings, plus loaded securement and everything else. These boys run reefers, so I mean, it could have been anybody. When you're running at that hour of night, it's usually your reefers and your dry vans sometimes, because your oversized is not running it because they're not permitted to run after dark in certain states, which we understand. Dave Newland says, hey, Ronald. Ronald Hebert says, hey, fellas. How you doing, Mr. Ron? Glad you're able to stop in and say hi. These are what we're talking about. Is we had a couple of guys, one of them that I know very close is a friend of mine, happened to end up being in a all right, now I got a question. Now, that ain't me. And I'd like to know who that is.
Do what now?
Read the comment, Scott, and read where it's from.
Yeah, it's from you.
No, it ain't. Sorry. That ain't for me.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
This is ridiculous.
This is what I'm saying. This is the reason why I've had to change things around, and I have no control of things. So I don't know who it is, don't know what it is. That's why I've had to, I've been dealing with so many issues. But I've had to upgrade some stuff to change some of that habit around, because I don't know who it is, because I'm not even able to get into that group. So,
people, I'm going to say something, Charles. Hang on, Charles.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say, if people's trying to mess up this program that we're trying to build up, please go mess somebody else's up. Don't mess this one up. We're all here for the drivers. We're not here for each of us. We're here for the drivers. We're all brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Yep, I know. You're right, Ronald. I mean, it is. Yeah, trolls. I don't know who it is, but yeah, I know. That's the reason why I created a new one, and it's strictly, yeah. Yeah, I know. And I mean, that's the reason we understand, Ronald. We do. With me hanging on with everything I have to do, and everything else, that's why I'm having to do things different, because one of the pages, or not one of the pages, but one of the groups has already been hacked. Don't know who it was. So that's the reason why when you look at the left lane with Lefty, it's all one section, it's all one piece. That is the new group. That's where everybody needs to go. And that's the reason why we're doing that. Is because there's too many issues, too many people wanting to mess around. We're just here to do what we're supposed to do, which is get the word out on the information that's going on. And like I said, there was a truck shooting this morning. There was another one out on I-80 somewhere where another driver was not paying attention. It plowed into about 11 cars before it finally come to a stop. It almost took out a safety worker. Luckily, that person wasn't working because today's a Sunday. But if it would have been any other time, that would have took out a whole major mess. But I mean, drivers is going to have to start paying attention to what's going on around their surroundings and around them. I mean, Scott, you haul heavy cranes. You're constantly looking at your mirrors. I mean, what is the key points that you want people to know that you're looking out for so they're not going to cause you any trouble? Let's see. Well, I'll put him back in when he gets back in there. But like I said, there's too many issues that we're having with things. Are you back, Scott? Let's see. Let's try this again. Are you there, Scott?
Yeah, sorry about that. I got booted or something. I don't know what happened.
All right. Well,
But the thing I'm doing when I'm running down the highway with equipment on as heavy and as wide as I am, or some of these other drivers, even though they do the same stuff, we're always constantly checking the mirrors. Something don't look right, we keep an eye on it. And with everything going on, my opinion is keep an eye on your surroundings 100% better than what you normally are.
yeah. And you're right. I mean, four-wheelers don't pay attention that, hey, just because that truck has that many tires don't mean that's that many brakes on that truck.
That's right.
And they don't understand. And wide turns, you can't see around these wide turns when you're 15, 16 wide and 14 or 15 feet tall. You know, there's a lot of this stuff that people need to pay attention to what's going on with their surroundings. And load securements, with me working this past week, I have seen, I couldn't believe the countless time I have actually caught a driver. I'm not going to show his video. I'm not going to sit there and call the driver out because I don't want to call the company out, because I've already called the company and let them know that driver needs to be retrained on how to do load securements. The man is hauling pipe, not one chain and binder on it. It was all straps. And I guarantee you I could stick a 2x4 a long ways in between the straps. They were flopping that loose. He thought his load was that secured. The load and securements on these trucks, guys, got to make sure you're dead on. Because if not, you do not want that fine from DOT. They will shut you down, red tag your truck. They will fine the hell out of you for every strap that is loose, every chain and binder that is not on that trailer or on that load securement. It's not something you need to play with. You're playing with other people's lives just because you think, oh, well, you know, I got one flapping, I got another one flapping. No, you're playing with other people's lives, and we're not doing that. You need to pay attention to what you're doing. Respect the job that you are doing. And that's the problem. No one wants to respect the job. That's an issue. Well, let's see what Mr. Ron has to say. Always look far enough ahead of you so you can see and pay attention all the time. Put the damn phone down. You're right, Ron. That's dead on. People need to start putting the phone down and start caring about the job that they're doing. You want to read that, Scott? Or you want me to go ahead and read it? From Mr. Keith
Oh, go
Becker.
ahead, dude.
I don't get whatever happened to drivers paying attention. Is it just the phones being a distraction? Or is it still all so much with modern technology in our trucks, from ELDs to GPSs, adaptive cruise, auto braking, lane detection, or deviations or collision
No.
advancement systems. You don't get, and it might be with all the distractions, you're busy, you're trying to get going on that. And I can understand on the ELD, once you hit start, your time is ticking down. We understand that. So it don't mean, if it means you have to sit somewhere else for an hour earlier than your normal run, or you're not going to be able to hit that one spot that you really wanted to be at, but you can go back and say, all right, you know what? I'll hit the stop before that to where I know I'm safe, because it's going to take me a little longer to make sure my load is secure. I think what it is, they're loading it, they're securing it, and not stopping to check every 200 to 300 miles. Well, actually within the first 100 to 150 miles, checking their load, and then checking it the next 200 to 300 miles down the road neither. And it's like, oh, well, it's strapped, it's good, it ain't going to go nowhere. Your load moves, your load shifts.
Well, I'll say this. I don't think it's the ELD distraction, GPS distraction. I really don't, because the ELD is set up to where when you get within 2 hours of your time on your clock, regardless, it'll let you know. As far as GPS ain't going to tell you nothing. You paying attention to your route that you're going. You got it hooked into your radio, so you should be able to hear it. But me being out here as long as I have seen more people with their feet up in the door with their phones in their hand, not paying attention. So my belief is it's the phones. Put your phone down, text or talk whoever it is later, or go 100% hands free, because some states, they catch you with a phone in your hand, it's a real deep fine, couple $1,000s.
I like Ron's comment right here. Put the pride back into it.
That's the big thing right there.
That there and this right here is the lack of proper training, or maybe people just not caring. And I think that right there is 70. I'd say 70, 30. I say that's 70% right there is the lack of the proper training they're not giving these guys anymore. They're not giving them that. Right. And then right here, as Ron said it the best, give them something to put the pride back into what they do. I go to truck shows. You all seen the one I went to semi-casual. Some of their semis are in this videos that I have in here that I've uploaded tonight, a couple of them. I haven't had what I used to have. I'm still working on getting things back in a roll. It's taking me a little bit. But these guys take pride in their ride. They work these trucks. They do care about their situation. Some of these guys, like Ron says, if you don't make it there today, don't jeopardize yourself to not make it there tomorrow. And that's
Charles, I'll tell you this. Back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, it was a lot of fun to drive up and down the highway. Every driver, it don't matter if one truck stopped, one broke down, you had 15 trucks on each side trying to help this driver and get him back to rolling again. I've watched it go down, and there's two types of drivers. There's drivers like me, Kelly Shane, Ronald Hebert, Justin, Dennis, all of us. We're out here to make a living driving a truck.
Yeah.
But then you got people out here that are out here saying, oh, I drive a big truck. I'm a big fella. No, you're not. But there's two types of drivers. There's drivers that love and enjoy driving their trucks. And there's some of them out here that's just out here for a paycheck. And that's what it's come down to. You got people out here just for a paycheck. They don't take pride. They don't try and stop and see if anybody else is okay that's broke down on the side of the highway. It takes
what? I see that a lot.
10 minutes,
5
10,
minutes.
15 minutes of your time just to see if the driver's okay. But these dudes don't do it. They just ride on by.
Yeah.
You know, and like Robert Pennington said, you know, don't jeopardize what you're doing.
Yeah.
People don't
You
understand.
don't.
These guys don't understand. With that phone in your hand, or you texting, and you get in a wreck, or somebody hits you, it can cost you your livelihood. Period.
Yeah. And just like Keith Becker says, today you don't see nearly the number of drivers stopping, checking binders and chains and straps like you used to years ago. You don't.
That's right.
And I see it daily. I'm up and running down the highway. I put in as almost as much miles as you guys do in these trucks. My boss, we just figured it out how many miles I put on my truck in a 1 month. I run in between 75 and 7,700 miles in a month. That's roughly about 1,500 miles a week. That's in a truck. I mean, roughly. Just roughly. I mean, there's some weeks that I even put more than that. We've actually got some to where I have 10 to 12, where I've actually went to different states, where I went to Alabama, went to Kentucky, Ohio, all the way down to Atlanta, down to Florida. You know, the miles are there. I mean, it's just, I see this all the time. I catch you guys running down the highway. That's the reason why it's left lane with lefty. You guys are in the left lane. I'm filming. I've got a couple of videos that I ain't posting yet because, you know, I don't want to put it out there because I know it should be seen, but that's going to be a separate episode of this is what not to do. You need to be paying attention. And it's just like Keith Becker just said. Exactly, Scott. You're correct about that.
Charles, what is DOT's policy of when you get loaded and you go down the road? What is DOT policy to check your load? Every what?
Well, it's been a while, but because is it every 200 miles?
Every 2 hours or
well,
every
yeah,
150
2 hours.
miles.
Yeah.
That's DOT policy.
See, I was going because our company policy here where I work at, it is 50 miles, check your load. And if you're going to do it by the hour, every hour and a half, nothing more. You better not go over that hour and a half because it's being watched. The sensors and everything all go back to the truck because it's all done by GPS global satellite. They check, they make sure our heavy hauls are 7 and 8 axle drivers. You know, we do have big enough stuff that we do haul. And we got stuff that comes out of PA. We got stuff that we send down there to Lakeland, Florida. I mean, we're constantly selling equipment, buying equipment. So we're constantly all over the place.
Different companies have different policies, but DOT is every 100 miles. It's every 100 miles or 2 hours. One of the two, not 150. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The way I've done it, and I've done it with towing, it's always 50 miles or within the first 30 minutes because you never know what you're going to be bouncing around. You want to double check. So I sit there and I do that. And then I check it. And then after that, then I go every 100 miles, depending on where I'm going. And I used to run cars out of state for rental car companies. So constantly, I was carrying 2 cars at a time. You always kept your wheel lift straps. You always checked them every 50 miles first time. And then it was every 100 miles you check them because you don't want to make sure you don't want to screw up the vehicle or lose your load. Mr. Keith Becker sits there and says, do you think it would make a difference in the safety and performance of drivers out on the road or out on the highway if they were paid by the hour instead of the regular system that we're dealing with, the anchorage system, are
See,
being
paid by the
paid
mile.
by the mile and not being paid by the mile, but short miles. I think all drivers should be paid by the hour for everything they did. They wouldn't be rushing down the highway, causing any accidents, not checking their chains and binders, and having freight falling off the flatbeds.
That's very
You're
true.
right. That is very true. And I agree with him 100% that he should be. I mean, they should do that. I worked for hours, worked by the hour for years, and it was nice. Every 2 hours or 150 miles, Keith Becker says, is the DOT regulations.
That's what I thought.
Yep. Every
Hey,
2 hours
just
or
heads.
150 miles.
Keith Baker says, just heads up. Anybody traveling the Interstate 5 between LA and Bakersfield northbound is a crawl, and the southbound is crawl pretty much the entire distance because of wildfires. That's another thing that we need to talk about. California, Oregon, Washington, these states have wildfires that literally can be there in a matter of seconds. The biggest thing as a professional driver, it is your job to make sure you're safe, but it is also your job to help somebody that is stranded in the middle of it, get them out of there. Don't worry
Yeah.
about their belongings, get them out. Their lives cannot be replaced.
No.
Their belongings can.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's just,
the drivers
Go ahead.
just got to the drivers just got to come back and take pride in this industry, or the industry ain't going to be an industry no more.
no. We need to start. How would you come up with a solution to fix that, Scott? What would be an
If-
idea that you would come up with? I mean, if it was you, that you could come up with an idea to say, here, let me throw this out. This could be something that might help. As many years as you were what? A car hauler, mobile
Yeah.
parking lot,
10 years,
heavy haul.
20.
What else you did?
And then I hauled produce, and I hauled pneumatic trailers for a while. If I had a plan, or I will say this, if I had a company and I had drivers working for me, and there was an episode happen and they didn't stop and see if anybody's okay or whatever the case might be, I don't tolerate that. Everybody has got to stick together. It don't matter if you're young, old, it don't matter. And it don't matter color, creed, or anything. We need to watch everybody's backs. My thing, what I would do, and I would tell everybody out here, if you see a truck on the side of the road, give them a hand.
Oh, Scott. Sorry, guys, if you see me smoking, I am trying to quit. So it's just something that if you see it in there, it's not lit. It's just something that I have to do to, because I'm trying to cause myself to quit smoking. So I'm trying to better myself.
You do
So
all
go
right.
ahead, Scott.
Ronald Hebert says we paid by the hour up here hauling logs this week, and we had 2 rollovers in trucks because they were reaching for a drink on the floor. Yep, that is true. When you take your eyes off the road, it only takes 2.5 seconds for something to go wrong.
Well, Scott,
And that
I got
two-
2 more people we're going to add on to this. So go ahead. As you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and add them in.
It's 2.5 seconds is all it takes. And the bad thing about it is if you're playing with your phone, I've seen it happen. I know somebody that's going through all this. If you're playing with your phone and you're texting somebody, it don't matter if you hit them, but if somebody hits you, they will request your phone. And when they do, and they find out you on the phone, you're going to be in deep doo-doo. It don't matter. There's nothing you can do about it. You're done. If
Yeah.
you get in a wreck, somebody dies, you're done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I've seen it happen. I got friends that are involved in it right now, and it don't look good. So it's and I know Keith and Kelly, welcome to the show, y'all too. Uh, y'all out here like I am. Y'all see everything. And fellas, I'm not trashing drivers by all means. By all means, I'm not. I've seen a lot of stupid people in four wheelers be stupid. They think
Yeah.
they invisible, and they really ain't.
That
And I'd
they
like to
also
run over.
think they're invincible too. Not invisible, but invincible. Hey, I can outrun that truck. Hey, I can outtake him on that corner. I can beat him to that red light and jump
Yeah.
over in front of him. So I can be first in line. And they don't realize it takes a lot more, depending on what you're hauling, to stop that truck.
Well, I got scared a week and a half ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago maybe. I was 232,000 pounds
That's massive.
running 45 mile an hour through town, and had this yo-yo decide to go around me, around my escort, and get in front of me and lock them up. And I had cars on both sides. And I took everything I had to stop that truck. I thought I was going to run over him.
All because he wanted to show his true colors and get in front of you and lock it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's sad.
Well, Mr. Keith Becker, how you doing, sir? Long time no see.
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm just sitting here taking my 34, watching this traffic out on I-5 and watching the wildfires burn. Crazy
He's still
out here.
bald. He's still bald.
You heard about I know it's been a while since I've talked to you. I know you've been busy. How's that old puppy dog treating you? Doing you good?
Running good, running good. Year
That's
old,
good.
got 208,000 miles on it. She's still barking.
Well, that's a good thing. I don't know if you paid attention to the beginning, but you're out there in California. Have you been talking to any of the drivers and hearing about these late night, early morning shootings on truck drivers that's been going on?
I pay attention more out here because I'm running up and down I-5 and 15 and 25 most of the time, and 40 and 80. Yeah, I've been paying a lot of attention up around Portland and Seattle because that seems to be where it's really bad out here. But I don't really pay much attention to what goes on in the East Coast because I don't run that way.
Well, this is out in California. This happened. They were coming out of LA, and a car come up and started shooting at the trucks at about 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
They were shooting at the tanks and at the airlines.
Yeah, that was the one that just
When he
happened
got
overnight last night, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
actually,
heard that one.
this morning, late last night, early this morning. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
that
and he
one.
drives for Snyder. So, yeah. So,
Yeah, and
that's why I
unfortunately,
said,
I'm
you know
heading
what?
down into LA.
As long as you get there before midnight, should be all right.
I can't start till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
I'll
that might be
I'll
sweet.
get to playing all the traffic tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, you're doing that early start.
Yeah.
What's up, Michael? Let's see what Michael says. Michael says, feet up on the dashboard, get under my skin. Hey, you ain't kidding. We see a lot of that. I've seen a lot of, where, and I hate to say it, but I do see a lot of that on your foreign Canadian, U.S. American trucks. I've seen a few of those do it with the knee up on the window, foot up on the prop of the door. It's just that, and there's been a couple other drivers I'll be polite. And I've seen them that have been doing that here lately across 81, across 40, and over on 65, coming over, and then on that 58 over there towards Nashville. I mean, I guess it's happening everywhere, but I see quite a bit of it over here too. And it's good to hear from you, Michael. I'm glad you stopped in. What'd you say, Ron? Looking for easy money. Really? He's looking for that easy money. Y'all got any easy money around here? I know I ain't got none.
Kelly's got all the easy money.
I don't know. He's been paying for all that free labor he's been getting. What's up, Mr. Kelly? How are you tonight, sir?
Tired.
What? Sitting in the chair being boss?
Shit, no. Wasn't no sitting there being boss. He was working.
All right, look at that. See, he's got the grandkids.
Got all of them.
That's why he's tired. He's been playing with all the grandkids.
Shit, no. Been standing and prepping and everything else.
Man.
Yeah, my house is no longer dark colors.
Do what?
The
He said his house is done and over with dark colors.
Yeah, everything but the dining room is
Good.
all of it's been repainted, dropped, trimmed, cornered, all that header stuff that I was telling y'all about when I was at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blending it all in. It's all been blended in. Next thing is tearing that wall out right dining room and
Nope.
we're gonna tear a majority of it out and put a window in it.
Oh, Scott, as what I read that comment about Ron, it's all about the money. He's meaning towards that car that got in front of you and jammed on the brakes. That's what they were
Oh,
looking
yeah, I
for.
know.
It's all about the money. You get paid. Yeah. Good morning, or good evening, Miss Christie. How are you? Glad you stopped in to say hi. No, and you're right, Michael. It's not in the trucking. It's not just in trucking, but we see guys and ladies in cars doing the same thing. It just gets ridiculous on some of the stuff that's going on.
That's just,
Going for contact lenses measurements for my bad eye Tuesday morning. Well, I hope you get flying colors on that, man. I really do. Hope you get flying colors on it and you can get back in the truck and start driving. I mean, it's not like you ain't driving now, but I know it's always better to have two eyes than one.
that's just like earlier. I don't know if you've seen it or not. That's why I logged out, logged in on my personal. I made a comment on the page under the page name.
Yeah. Well, I was sitting there trying to figure it out because I've been having so many issues.
That was me.
But,
that's why I commented, "Hey, knuckleheads, before you assume it's me."
Yeah.
About that damn guy with that gooseneck and that coil had a 5/16 chain pulling towards the neck and a 4-inch strap, belly strap on a 20,000-pound coil. Going down 75 and the damn 5/16 chain had slack in it. The binder was bouncing off the deck.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I've been seeing here lately. I mean, some of them ain't even running chains on some of this stuff. And I hate to call them out, but you're playing with other people's lives. It's not just yours. Because if someone had to jam on the brakes, it's just like I got Justin Williams sent me one Thursday of a semi on fire at the mile marker 32 southbound side in Virginia near Marion on the 81. The whole cab was already engulfed in flames. That was before any rescue squads got there. And people were jamming on the brakes, locking it up, thinking this truck's going to explode. You know, when your load ain't secure, It's not that hard for it to go through your cab. And if you look at these YouTube videos, you can see there's people out there filming this stuff for the kicks and letting you know that, hey, this stuff will kill you. We need to get more people in tune on what they are doing.
I got a question for Scott and Kelly. You know,
What's
because
that?
I don't
Go
do
ahead.
flatbed and I don't do heavy haul like you two guys do. Seen a RGN up in Washington the other day. Had a looked like a harvester of some sort. Only had 4 chains on it, one on each corner.
Okay.
Is that enough for a harvester? Because to me, that
Depends.
didn't seem like enough.
It depends on if he's using 1/2 inch or 5/8. If he's using 1/2 inch or 5/8, a harvester don't weigh but about what, Kelly? 30, 35,000, 40?
4 3/8, 4 binders. A harvester, depending on how big it is. Now, when you get into bigger ones, like the cotton picker size harvesters, you better have about 6 to 8 chains on it.
Yeah. It just depends on the weight.
On the weight of it.
Okay. Yeah, well, it wasn't that big like a cotton picker. It was a smaller harvester. I'd say it might be one that might have a 24-inch blade on, or 24-foot blade on it. You know, it didn't look like it would be that big. 38. Okay.
3/8, 4 binders. That's plenty for that one. I've hauled a bunch, and I mean, you can run the minimum on stuff like that, but just like me and Scott, I'd rather overkill it just to be safe. I broke, I don't know how many 3/8 120 grade chains on combines. Just going down the road after I chained and binded it, they break.
I guess he fell out.
Yeah, he's his phone's. He probably got a phone call from what it looks like.
Well, to answer his question properly, DOT rules and regulations states that when you hauling flat, if you're hauling pipe, you got to have your first 2 chains 2 foot apart, and then after your second chain, it's got to be 8 foot per chain. So if you're hauling pipe and it's 40, just say 48 foot, you're going to have 2 at 2 foot apart. Then you're going to have 4 of them at 8 foot apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but you have to regulate as long as you have 50% and higher of what the piece of equipment weighs, you're fine.
Yeah.
Me, I
Which is
overkill.
understandable.
I overkill.
I overkill every time, and that's just for my safety.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times that them swathers I pulled all the time. 4 chains is plenty. 4 binders is plenty. I do 4 chains and 8 binders.
Yeah.
I pull
Real
it.
quick.
I pull it both ways on each binder, just to be on the safe side, because them swathers are so high and there's so much airspace up underneath them. They will walk.
Yeah.
They'll walk in a heartbeat.
Well, it's just like when Black sat there and says, where your securement comes into play is placement of chains as well. People tell me I over-secure. There is no such thing as over-securement.
No.
She's right. There is no such thing as over-securement.
No.
If you feel more comfortable putting more chains on it and binders, then do it. It's your safety. It's what makes you feel safe hauling that load. And she's right.
Yeah,
and Dwayne, if you want to come back on, you can come on. Just go into the left lane with Lefty Page. You'll actually see the link in the page. You can click on it and join if you want. Let's add Mr. Keith Becker. He's back in again.
Yeah, you're right. I had a phone call, but I could hear you guys in the background talking. So
that's what I was thinking.
listening.
You got a phone call.
But the biggest thing is like this one said, who is that?
Like Gwen.
Yeah, Gwen Black said, where your securement comes into play with the placement of the chains as well. People tell me I
Over secure.
over secure them. Well, let me just put a little damper on this one, and Kelly will agree with me on this one. I know he will. It's whatever you're comfortable with, what you feel safe with. If you feel comfortable of putting 4 chains and 4 binders, so be it, as long as you're 50% and above the capacity of what the equipment weighs.
Yep.
If you're not really sure about it, then do 8 chains or 8 binders and 4 chains, which is real easy to do. You pull inboard and you pull outboard. And the reason why I pull outboard is the machine won't rock. If you pull inboard, the machine will move a lot faster. So it's whatever your personal feelings are about it. If you prefer to overkill it, overkill it. Don't worry about what people say. You're doing it because you feel safe that way.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got what you guys were saying about, it was enough chains for that harvester I saw. But my concern was that with the mountain terrain, all the curves, because this was up on US 2, and I don't know if you guys have ever run US 2,
Yep.
from Leavenworth over to Arlington
Yep.
in Washington. To me, I thought, he should have had more just because of all the twists and turns in that road. There ain't nothing straight about that damn road.
I mean,
Yeah.
I run on a sprayer. I run 4 1/2-inch chains, 8 1/2-inch binders. Sprayers are one of the most aggravating things ever pull.
Yeah.
It's just because they're nothing but a big parachute. That's all they are. You're 12 foot wide with everything sucked in. It don't matter what you do with the everything sucked in. You're 12 foot wide, and you've nothing but a parachute. You got 4 foot from the deck to the bottom of the damn machine. So you take on your hooks where John Deere has placement for tie downs. You run your chain through it, pull to the back of the tire, pull to the front of the tire on all 4 corners.
Okay.
It's not going to move. It's going to squat. It's going to sit there. It's not going to move. It's not going to have this sway in. If you only do 4 chains and 4 binders and you X chain it front and rear, it's going to sway. It's going to walk forward. It's going to be a headache. You're going to be worried about knocking it off.
Yeah.
Combines are
Hey,
bad.
Keith, I'll say this. How many, when you load that reefer up, how many load locks do you put in there?
You know,
Well, the freight I run, and I'm specialized dry van, but the freight I run, and even when I did run reefer, if I had like a solid load of produce, I would put load lock at the bottom, middle, and top. And I only did it because, you only need 1. That's all they request. I put 3 in for the simple fact of what you were saying. It's what I felt secure with because I didn't want to get to a receiver and be cleaning up produce off the floor.
Right.
Yeah. As Michael says, I over secure. Better safe than sorry, and that's his
Yep.
thing. And then Gwen has a couple more questions real quick, and I will pull it up. This one here, she says, "What do I do to keep the equipment from walking? I cross." And her other one is, I have put 2 chains on a rack blade for a D6 dozer, which is, we know what the dozers are for. Laugh out loud. So what's your answer on that one, Kelly?
on what?
To help keep it from walking. She's trying. What do I do to keep the equipment from walking if she crosses?
The biggest thing where your heavier stuff, and Scott will agree with me on this, is don't long pull nothing. I don't give a damn if it's a 20,000 pound piece of equipment or a 60,000 pound piece of equipment. You short pull the shit out of it. Dozers, I usually run an X chain in the front on the eyelet, and some dozers you don't have two connection points on the back. Your excavators you do on the drum. You got your centerpiece, front piece. Run a chain on each corner. Run it short as you can, tight. Take a binder to the inside of the track on the front, to the rail. Rail it on the back end. You short chain something, it's more, got more weight. You've got more capacity on your chain and binder than you do running it 20 foot, 10 foot out in front of the piece of equipment. It's not going to walk. If
You want to read your comment, Scott?
having a dozer walk, you're having a dozer walk. Doing
I don't know if it's a dozer, but I mean, just trying to help keep a piece of equipment from walking.
Yeah, I mean,
You want to
Outboard.
read that comment, Scott?
No
Okay,
cross.
read it.
No cross on the front or back. Not across the belly. Well, if you got machine or if you got equipment that is on wheels or tracks, and you can actually hook on the track outboard. In other words, you pull into the back of the trailer and you pull to the front of the trailer. That's called outboard.
Yep.
You can chain them down. It ain't gonna walk. It don't matter. It's not gonna walk. If you try and just go straight down, like hook onto it and go straight to the trailer, trying to shortcut, that's where it's going to walk. You got to have at least a 45-degree angle on your chain to go to the side of your trailer, and it will not walk. I guarantee it. Now,
and the only
big dozers, you can actually, once you do that, you hook on the inside to the outside of your trailer. If you're open on the inside of your trailer, you can go from the outside of the track to the inside of your trailer, which is fine, long as you have a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Even if you got to go all the way to the other side of the trailer and cross from outside to outside all the way across, as long as you got a 45-degree angle on your chains, it's not going to walk. On a dozer blade, all you got to do is put one chain and one binder on it, pull it straight down. It ain't going to go nowhere. As long as it's hooked to the machine. If it's not hooked to the machine and it's laying on the deck, put it on blocks, throw 2 chains over it. You got lips on the back of that dozer blade, if I remember right, that you can go and you can still do an outboard on that. The blade will not move.
a lot of them have eyelets on it now, Scott.
Right. So outboard, I learned this years way back. I did it hauling cars. It ain't going nowhere. I promise you. But if you inboard it or direct down, yes, it will walk on you.
And
Yeah.
that's where, like John has high points. You have to put high points. Excavate, yeah, you're going to have to run that eyelet. That's why when you do that eyelet, you shorten it, but then you take one on each side of the track, inside to outside, 45 it, it's never going to move. Never. And if you
Yeah.
throw 4 chains on it, deal, they get you in a hole. So what I have on my trailer, I've got 8 chains that are a foot long. That's what them chains are for. Hooking to the inside of the track, putting the binder on it, tightening it down. That's all I use for those also. That's what they're using. And if you're having something like that walk,
Yeah.
you're not short chaining, long chain. It will walk all day long.
Just like Roger McKay says, hello, hey, fellers. I'm late to the party. You're never late. Roger, you're never late. You're always early. And Miss Alicia, hello, and how are you? Glad to see you here, too. And Mr. Glenn Clay, how you doing, sir? Hope you're doing.
Mr.
I hope
Cooter.
I hope you got your truck back this week. I hope you get
Mr.
back.
Kunas.
He got
Yeah.
black Volvo.
Oh, well, yeah. Depending on which truck he's driving.
He's driving that black Volvo.
He's still driving the black Volvo?
Yeah.
That figures. As Ron says, when I load everything with a track, I chain from the outside of the tracks and cross them to each side of the low bed.
You can do that.
Right.
Means he's crisscrossing from outside to inside, but
Yeah.
it's going from outside across the trailer. So yeah, it's like a long pole. Because you can hook it either way. You can do it from the outside of the tracks in across to each side of the trailer, or you can hook from the inside of the tracks and pull down to the outside of your rigger on your trailer. Either
As long
way.
as you got a 45-degree angle.
Yep.
And if you can't get a 45, a 30 ain't bad. A 30-degree will be just sufficient, but 45 is more better.
Yeah. Better than having a straight, because you still ain't going to get nothing with a straight pull because they get bounce and come loose. And that's where a lot of people are not understanding. Well, it's just easier to hook, and I can hook here. Well, no, you want to pull down because you want something to be able to, if it moves, it does not have no flexibility on the track, so it stays to the trailer. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Glenn sits there and says, no truck yet, still in the process of swapping the motor in it. And then the other one for you, Scott. This is for you. He says, I'm a Texas from Texas and raised in Louisiana. Get it right.
He's a Coontex.
He's a Texas. But
Texas.
I figured you'd like that. But, you know, I mean, it's all about load securement. It's about safety. And like Ron said earlier, let me go back to his comment. It was up here. Hang on. Let me go back to his comment. And this is his comment. It's probably the training they received. They don't know any better, no better than this. And this is why we need to tell them and help them. And he's got a point. A lot of these people, these schools anymore are only teaching for drive-in and a little bit of reefer. They're not teaching them what you're supposed to do for load securement on drop decks, on skateboards, which everybody knows is a flatbed, or RGN, or any other specifications. Because they're not talking about load securement. They just want to make sure you can drive that truck where you need to drive it.
I was just gonna say that these schools, the only thing they want to even do is to teach you how to drive a truck. It don't matter what kind of truck, as in the type of trailer. They don't care. They're not gonna teach you finer points of flatbed, RGN, reefer, car hauler, grain hopper, hopper bomb. They're not gonna teach you anything about that because they figured that's not what they're there to do. They're there to teach you enough to get your driver's license, and then when you go to a company, that's up to the company to teach you all the finer points. That's how every damn school is. I don't care which school it is, from Swift to a community college, you're all going to be the same.
Yeah.
That's why you go to work for a smaller chain.
Yep. Go work for a smaller company and get taught the right way.
A smaller
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
a
It should
smaller
be.
carrier will train you a lot better than a big mega will all day long.
All right. Well, it's now top of the hour. We're already 5 minutes over. We're going to go ahead and take a small little break here with a couple short videos, and then we'll be right back.
She was just a baby. Hey, waitress, pour me another cup of coffee. Pop it down, jack me up, shoot me out, flying down the highway. Looking for the morning. Ooh, I'm driving my life away.
Every time I hit the corner, I'll be turning heads. I'll be turning heads. I'll be turning heads.
So, all right, one more. And then
And where down we go, where down we go, say where down we go, oh, 'cause say we run you down to your car, oh, way down we go.
all right, but we're back. um, so we talked about the load securements. We talked about what type of trailers you need to have, what type of dealings you got to deal with. I want to go into a little more into knowing your truck, as in the type of truck you drive. Because most of these guys are thrown in. You're driving an automatic, ain't you? There, Keith.
Yeah, mine's an automatic.
Yours
And
is
I
an
ain't no,
automatic.
and I ain't no damn
Scott's
sissy.
is
I've
an
been out here for
automatic.
35 years, and 33 of that 35 is driving 10s to 18s. Just had to throw
But
that in
I
there.
mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not dogging y'all. Trust me, I am not dogging any of y'all over that. I've driven them both. I've driven sticks, and a lot of people really are amazed that and kind of don't believe that I drive a stick. But I prefer a stick over an automatic. I've driven both. I've driven automatics for a couple of years. Most of the time, I've driven sticks. I grew up driving a stick, and it's just the knowledge of knowing that you can select what gear you need to be in, how you want to run, and the little thing of yeah, I can make that Jake brake bark when I want it to. But it's just one of the things. But you know, you got an automatic, and you got an automatic, Scott.
Yep. And I
Kelly's got
pulled
it
230.
up there.
I pulled 232,000 pounds down the highway,
With your automatic,
and it works beautiful.
no issues.
That was, yeah, my automatic runs great too. I mean, it was new, and Scott will probably agree with me. Going from a manual to an automatic, it's new. You got to retrain yourself that, hey, you can still take that automatic and turn it into a manual, and you need to learn how to use it in snow, on wet roads when it's raining, on heavy mountain terrain like out here in Rockies. You need to relearn yourself to learn how to use that automatic to your advantage to make it work and perform to its maximum. But yeah, I like the automatic now that I'm used to it and have gotten used to it and figured it out. I like it. It saves my legs, especially like tomorrow going into LA. It saves my knees.
Yeah, I mean, it has its benefits. It really does. And then there's some cases it does have its downfall, to where you really can't. If you get into sand or if you get into clay, you really can't rock that automatic like you can a manual to work your way out and be able to work it. But
Right.
there's
It
things
doesn't
that
rock as good, but
automatic,
you can still do it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can still do it.
but it takes a lot to do
I-
it. But where the automatic actually has its advantage, to where you can actually lock it and hold it into a gear, and the way they're set up is not by the power bank, because you're working a clutch when you're doing it with a manual. You're sitting there working it back and forth, trying to get it to work itself out. To where that automatic, it will hold at a certain RPM. If you hold that RPM, it'll actually turn the wheels and keep the constant torque, to where a clutch, in that situation, you're actually burning up more of your clutch because you're having to work it back and forth, because you don't want to give it a whole lot of pressure, but you don't want to sit there and ease off of it neither. To where the automatic can sit there and hold it at that RPM and hold it at that torque range, and be able to walk you out of certain places. And this is with me talking from both sides. I've done sticks, I've done automatics, and I can see where their goods and their bads are. I just want to know from you guys, because you guys deal with them all the time. And a lot of people that I do know and I do talk to don't like an automatic. I don't think they've driven an automatic long enough to understand it, or they've changed so much in the last couple of years that people can't grasp of the changes that they're actually better. Because I know 6 years ago, Mac had the it wasn't an Allison transmission, it was a Maxidyne automatic that they had that actually every once in a while, if it was under a major strain, it was instant to kick into neutral. And that was a habit that they had on some of them. But I know on the new Allisons and that they've changed that to where it will hold and stay in that hold position like it's supposed to.
Well,
so, tell me some of the
I got
situations that you.
I got a buddy.
Go ahead, Scott.
I got a buddy that had the first 18-speed fully automatic Allison, and he pulls 250,000 pounds on the deck. That's on the floor of the trailer, and he's been doing it for years, and he ain't never had no issues. Never. You know, like Keith Baker said, yes, when you get in the hills, you put it in manual, keep your RPMs up above 1,500, and she will walk the dog. As long as you keep the RPMs up above 1,500. You might drop 4 or 5 gears, but you're still climbing with no problem.
Exactly. You
Just
keep
slow
your
down a
RPM
bit.
up and keep it in the torque band that it's putting maximum horsepower to that drivetrain. It'll walk any mountain. You are right about that. And a big thing, Charles, Mac, being that their biggest thing is vocational trucks, concrete and dump trucks. These Mac transmissions that are automatics, they have them set up with hill assist and mud and snow traction control.
Yep.
So that makes a big difference too when you're stuck in sand, snow, mud, whatever.
Yeah, my last automatic that I drove was back in 04, 05. And that was a brand new Granite Mac. It had the new 400 horsepower Mac motor in it. It had the Allison 6-speed in it. Loved the truck. Loved it. I kind of got spoiled because I used to drive it doing stick. And that was the first automatic that I actually got into and actually drove. My problem was going from driving a stick to an automatic. I kept slapping my foot on the floor looking for that clutch and trying to reach over going, wait a minute, you ain't got to grab a shifter now. But, you know, it's a little habit to get out of. But I love the truck. And the way Mac designed their transmission with that Allison was when it went to decelerate, it would drop 2 gears. You would run 6. It would automatically drop from 5th or from 6th to 4th. And that's when your Jake brake kicked in. That's when it was the strongest. They got it to produce 425 horse on the Jake brake side, but when you were taking off, it was giving you 400. But that was my first automatic, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. It was a quad axle Mac. It had the new 400 Mac motor in it when it was still a Mac motor, not this new looks like a Cummins. But you know, love the truck.
These new Mac engines, these MK8s, they are not a Mac engine. It's painted to dark red like it would be a Mac engine, but it's not. It's actually a Volvo engine.
Yeah, it almost looks like a Cummins is what they were trying to make it look like.
Yeah, but it's a darker red though. It's that dark red Mac standard paint.
That Mac red. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't complain about this truck and this engine. I mean, it's a good engine in it.
Yeah, because the last automatic that I drove was 6 years ago, and that was a 2017 Mac Granite. It was the new Granite. It was when it came out with the new hood design, the new cab design, and with the automatic satellite GPS talking system that talked to you as you're driving down the road. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just us in here playing. Scared the piss out of you. But yeah, they had the NP7s in them, and they were strong, but they just didn't feel as strong as the original Mac motors. And that was just something I just couldn't get used to. But I only drove that for about maybe roughly 2 months, and then I went back to the old Granite style Mac that we had. We bought a mulch truck. It actually held 25 yards in the box, and we ended up running it. It had the Easy 427 Mac motor with the 10-speed in it, and I ended up going back to the 10-speed driving it because I felt more comfortable with that truck than I did the new one. And it was just my preference.
I think Mac stepped up their ball game when they came out with these new anthems back, 2019, I think was the first year they came out, the anthems, or 2018.
Yeah.
They stepped their ball game up when they went from the MK7 to the MK8, and then they also went from the 10-speed automatic to a 12-speed automatic. So I think by putting that bigger motor in and the bigger transmission and changing those rear differentials, these trucks are a lot more torque than the old Granites had. These things will really pull the shit out of anything. I mean,
Nice.
I've never, in 35 years of driving, my favorite truck was always a 379. I was in 379 for 15, 18 years, something like that. And that was always my favorite truck. And then when I got into this Bulldog, I'm like, oh shit, I ain't never had a truck that ever pulled like this truck does. I mean, this thing's just, I can't even tell you how good it is at pulling a hill until you get hooked up and have an 80,000 pound load and you're going up over Vale or Cabbage or Grapevine, whatever. It just walks and just goes.
Wait till you get it in sand and see how much you like the M12 transmission.
I haven't had an issue yet.
I can promise you this, and I know this for a fact because I drove one. Had an M12 in it, pulling a Landau. I couldn't get myself off a fucking grain of sand.
Now, see,
I had to push myself with the trailer to get up. The transmissions are not built to do heavy shit.
No, yeah, I guess for what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, but that's when
I don't have an issue.
Local. I was doing local work here in town. My truck was a Mac. It had an M12 transmission in it. And every time I went to one of the pits where the company I was working for, there's a pit. It's a pretty hard pit, and it's got a pretty hard downgrade to it that we'd have to go into, and I'd have to go pick up a link belt excavator. Coming out, wasn't happening. I'd have to take the damn excavator and push myself out because I'd get stuck trying to get to the road.
Trying to get to it.
Yeah, just trying to get to it. Empty. And coming out, I'd have to use the excavator to push me all the way out to the asphalt. Because they couldn't hold up.
I just bought me a house out in the countryside. I'm not in Buckeye anymore. I'm over in Tolleson, but I'm out in the countryside, and I park right in front of my house, and that's all sand. And believe me, I tested it out before I even took the first attempt to parking a truck on. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't that damn salt that I was going to get myself stuck. But I haven't had any issues. Knock on wood. I haven't had any issues in ice, snow, sand. I've been lucky so far. But I guess I'm just overly careful where I park, I guess.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with one of them. And with the automatics, the way all the electronics are and everything, if that drive sensor goes out, whatever gear you're in,
that's the gear it's stuck in.
That's the gear it's stuck in. It's not like It's not like taking the manual and pulling the boot and the cover, pulling the pin and the screw, pulling the shifter out, sticking a screwdriver in there and the gears, and kicking it in neutral and putting everything back together and keep going.
Yeah.
That sensor goes out. You're done.
As Glenn says, mash your foot. Mash your foot on the floor for no clutch, or falling out of the seat trying to reach for the shifter. Yeah, been there, done that.
It took me a
Ron
couple of weeks of
says-
getting used to that, putting my foot through the floorboard, my knuckles through the dash.
Look, I drove an automatic for about a year, and for about the first 3 to 4 months, I was lost.
What's up, Sonny? Good to see
I've
you in
never
here, brother.
I've always been in 10 speeds, 18s, 13s, 15s,
Oh, you see that? You see how that is?
5
He
by
just
4.
cuts out. Scott just cut out and said, "Good night. Y'all have a nice, nice seeing y'all. Y'all stay safe and be out there on the road." I see how you are, Scott. You just couldn't say, "Hey, I gotta go.
Charles.
I need to get up
Charles.
early." You
Charles,
see how he is. Yeah,
it's 30 minutes past his bedtime.
that's what I figured. I know. I figured that.
But, you know, I understand where people are
And like Mark
going to
said-
that and liking that shit. That's all fine and dandy with them. More power
But
to
see, I drove my automatics down there in Florida. See, I've never driven an automatic up here in the mountains.
Yeah.
Everything I've driven up here has all been stick, and I drove stick down there. But the like I said, the two automatics that I drove were right there in Florida. So I drove through Orange Grove sand,
Yep.
sugar sand, and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I mean, it would go in places that you couldn't get other trucks to go because of the way they held their torque band on it, and it was a constant pull.
yeah, but it was the Allison also.
Yeah, it was an Allison transmission that they had in them. Yeah, it was the Allison. It wasn't that damn Freightliner transmission.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Volvo transmission. It was, it was an Allison.
That M12 is not a good transmission for off-road. It really isn't. Yeah,
But the only thing I did like is when I did drive the Mac, I
transmission.
liked the Maxidyne 10 speeds. The Maxidyne 10 speeds was really nice because when you were backing up, you had to back up in a long stretch. You can go through the first 4 gears or 5 gears you needed to in reverse and crank it out at 45 mile an hour in reverse.
Yep.
Loved it because that made it nice. Then you could pull out and flip her and just keep going. It was nice.
Yeah, this Mac's actually got a Mac transmission. It's a Mac drive transmission.
M-Drive.
M drive. Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
I just
As
had to
well.
look. That's why I was looking up here at my header board because I thought that's what it was an M drive. I didn't think it was an Allison or an Eaton.
Nope, it's an M-Drive.
Yeah, because Kenworth and Peterbilt used the Eaton Eaton transmission, automatic transmission. But Kenworth is supposed to have a new one that's actually a Kenworth design 18 speed, and it's supposed to be in their heavy duty commercial grade for dump trucks and cement mixers. So I'm wondering how that's going to work out and how that does for them.
Pack car has a automatic 18 speed right now.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the new one that's for the heavy duty dump trucks and concrete trucks. No,
I know where 2021 579 Ultra Loss are sitting at right now. It's got 18 speed automatics in them.
let me just up there at Valley.
Yes. The van fleet. Our van fleet is going to all automatics.
Really?
18 speed automatic Eaton Fuller and 579 Ultra Loss.
Bam.
Now, Charles, you might know better because you're a tow truck operator. I know I've heard a lot of our drivers where I work at. We have Volvos. We have, older ones, newer ones, and the older ones have the Volvo automatic 10-speed. What's that called? The Volvo iShift. None of them drivers seem to like them, but they said these brand new Volvos have a 12-speed, and they're thinking that they might actually be using this M drive from the Max. Do you know it? Did Volvo start using M drives?
They have them.
I think they are because they're now owned by, now the Max owned by Volvo.
Yeah,
And they've been owned by Volvo for a few years now. But I think what they're doing is they're integrating their systems of finding out which works best. And Volvo's actually saying, hey, let's put them in our trucks. They're a better system because they're testing them out in the Max. And the Max are holding up.
yeah,
So-
and that's what I was wondering because our drivers that are in the brand new Volvos that just came in said that they have the 12-speed automatic and they're a lot better than that Volvo iShift 10-speed automatic.
Yeah. As long as they can build a better motor, that'd be all right. Just saying.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
you have,
my thing is, I just wish Mac would go back because I know it's bought out by Volvo.
yeah.
I
you
just
don't
wish
have-
Mac would go back to the original motors that they were making that were actually Mac motors.
Yeah, but now you don't have the option with a Mac or a Volvo. You
No,
have,
no.
you know, whatever it is, That's just like with Freightliner. Freightliner's main motor is a Detroit, and to get one with a Cummins in it, it's going to cost you an assload of money.
Yeah. And the thing is, Detroit was doing good up until they got mixed up with Mercedes and started coming out with this DD13s, DD12s, the DD15s. And they screwed them up because the way the EGR valves are set up, the way the intercoolers are done, it's just
Inbox.
and it don't sound like a Detroit no more. It sounds like a farting machine that just don't know if it's coming or going, and it really don't. I mean, I like the old 60 series Detroit. I mean, that's one of the best Detroits that I believe that was made by Detroit. That and the 318 Detroit, the old V8s. You couldn't kill them, but you had to lay a 5-gallon bucket under them to catch up the oil so you could put it back in the truck the next morning. Because that's all they did was leak oil. But
Like a
I
318.
love the damn 60 series 430s. You could turn them up to 525s. Love them. Those were good motors.
318.
The motor I liked the best was a 3406C. Man,
Yeah.
I
Well,
could
you can
never.
get the
I don't
B2.
think you could even hand grenade one if you tried.
Well, no, and the thing is, see, Detroit's good on a high end because everything that all their torque band is on high RPMs. Their torque band is in between between 17 and 2100 RPMs on a Detroit. Now on a Cat, your torque band is in between 1100 and 1600 RPMs. That's your max torque that you can get out of it. That's the reason why you can, if you know how to shift and you know what you're doing with a manual, you can walk any truck in between 11 and 1600 RPMs. Your truck ain't even hardly using any power. I mean, they're all thinking, well, shoot, this thing ain't even running. But it will, that's where the torque band is on a Cat. And the 3406B and the 3406E, the electronic or the manual, excellent motors, as long as you know how to work them and find out where their torque bands are. Now, I do like the 4 1/4, which is the 3306 Cat, which is the 4 1/4 Cat. That little thing right there, 425, 430 horse, and you put it behind a super tent. That thing will walk the dog anywhere you want it to go. You want it to go up the mountain, drop it 2 gears, and just lay into it. It just did not give up. And it's just like the 3406. It don't give up. If you get into lower RPMs, you're hitting the power bands on those motors.
Yeah, but the 1692 is you can't compare anything to that. I don't give a damn what you do.
Yeah.
A 1692, there's nothing compared to it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're talking about an old V8 Cat, too.
Yeah.
The 1692s, 1693s.
Just the
if
fuel
you're
size.
going, and if you're going with the Marine style, or if you're going with the regulars, I mean, The Marines are meant to turn up higher RPMs and put out more torque. They are. They're just a beast of a truck. We've seen I sat there and I seen a couple of them there at the semi-casual truck show 2 weekends ago.
Well, Johnny Cash's truck.
Yes,
I mean,
it's
that's a Marine V8.
yes, that is a 1693 Cat V8.
Yep.
With a 15 speed behind it.
Yep. Well, it's just like a Cummins.
But now, if you look to the other one, the red one that was just 2 doors down from it,
Yep.
that one had the 6 and the 4 with the old Cat V8 in it.
Yes, it did.
And that sucker sounded good when it left out of there. I mean, it all depends on how you prefer your truck, how you want it, what you're using it for. And if you want to be man enough to reach between the steering wheels and shift both shifters. But you know how that goes.
See what I
Yeah,
got?
Oh, look
All
at it.
depends how much gas you want to use, or how much gas. Jesus Christ, how much fuel you want to burn up too. You know, you put the higher torque, the higher horsepower engines in, you're only going to get 5-6 miles a gallon. You use a lower torque, lower RPM engine. You know, this son of a bitch, man. Right now I'm sitting here at 9.3 mile per gallon since I left Spokane Valley, Washington, and I come down 395, 97. You know, all the way to Weed and I-5, and I'm sitting down here just north of LA. So, been pulling a lot of mountains. I'm sitting at 9.3 mile per gallon since I left up there.
That's what I'm saying. You're actually sitting better on the fuel mileage.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
But this thing also has the torque performance in it, that it has the multi-torque band that you can go from a lower torque, and you hit that performance button, it'll throw you into higher torque to keep your RPMs up, pulling a heavy grade, and you're not losing too much. You're not losing very much fuel mileage because of that torque band, that multi-band torque band.
Look, if I get 5 miles per gallon, I'm happy.
I also don't haul what you do either. I ain't got a big ass engine like you do either.
I'm talking about being 5 miles.
What are you running in? What size motor are you running in your truck, Keith, for the Mac? I mean, horsepower rating.
This one, again, it has that multi-range. So the horsepower is a 475, 555 range for horsepower. So it'll.
Range. Yeah. And see,
it's not that high of a horsepower.
Kelly's running in the range between 550 and 600 because he's got the bigger cup. Yeah. So I mean, it depends on.
Yeah, my motor 600, but it's got Marine cam, Marine crank, Marine injectors. It's got a bigger turbo. So, and it's got a 2250 torque clutch in it, converter. I'm probably pushing 800, and that's with me not touching the ECM at all. But
a big motor like that makes a difference in your fuel mileage too.
Yeah, but I mean, on 336 rears to a 295-inch wheelbase.
Yeah.
Which one you want?
But I mean, I could turn it up, but I mean, it ain't gonna do me no. It's just the fuel mileage is gonna get worse.
Which one you want? That one or that
Yeah.
one?
I'm not doing it. I didn't do it to get good fuel mileage. I did it just to be cool.
Which one you want?
Now you did it so you can get your load moving, but I have to sit there and wait all day for it to get there.
Dude.
We know.
You want to?
Everybody wants their truck turned up. They want the max horsepower out so they can get down the road and roll and blow smoke. I mean, it's just every driver's fantasy to have a rolling coal show truck and be able to run. But you know what? Every truck is a show truck. Because each truck is unique to each individual on how they want to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Take Chucky Harrison. look, I mean, he took that Peterbilt and turned it into, went from just a regular plastic truck and put all that money into it, put the drop visors, sat there and did the chops on it, put the tailboard on it, the new custom bumper on the front. He was customizing that plastic truck to be his truck. And when he was done with it, it really did look sharp. It really did.
For a 579, it did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too overboard. It was just enough to make it look like something.
Yeah. Enough to catch your attention, but not enough to overkill it to where it drawed the wrong attention. Like, yeah, that's an ugly truck. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, just like I've always said, Charles, less is more.
Yeah.
Less is always more in my book. The less you can do to one, and the more you can streamline it and cut it out from the factory to its own entity, it makes it look better.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like
you look at like Hatermade. Hatermade is almost a plain Jane truck when you look at it driving down the road. Trailer and truck matches, but it's actually got a custom paint. It's actually done up really nice on the inside, but and it's got enough chrome on it to make it stand out that it looks good, but it's not overdone.
right. I mean, there's
But I got to thank Hatermade for the interview that he gave me, which is up on Left Lane with Lefty. It's also on YouTube under Left Lane with Lefty. I also want to say thanks to the ETI guys real quick, TC and Hot Wheels for doing the interview. That's over on YouTube and on both pages. I also want to thank Tony Justice for allowing me to use his music for doing a couple of the videos that I do have that I do play on here. So I have to give that plug out. So it's out there.
You've seen my truck. My truck's a company truck. It's just a plain Jane Mac Anthem, but the interior, it's a company truck. It's a company truck, but it was custom built by Mac. We got 50 of them custom built for the company, but where it's custom built isn't anything on the exterior. It just looks like a plain Jane Mac Anthem, but it's the interior. The interior on this thing is phenomenal.
right.
I mean, it's amazing truck.
You know,
gives you more bunk room, gives you more comfortability in the seat.
Right.
And see what they did, they custom built it for the driver, not for what it looked like going down the road, but for the comfort features for the driver.
That's exactly what I was getting at. They custom did the interior so that the driver's happy, but they also got it custom made for the company for, like I just said, I'm getting 9.3 mile per gallon, so that the company's making money on this truck. They don't want to lose money. You wouldn't be in business if you're losing damn money. So, they put under the hood and under the frame rails what is needed to do the job and make money, by getting good fuel mileage. But a lot of drivers, where I work at, they'll go out and they'll spend the money on the chrome and customize it. I don't do that. I got a family I got to take care of. So, I don't have the money to do that. I'm not Kelly where I can stop out Iowa 80 and spend $1,000 every weekend when I'm there, but
that gets me in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Roger McKay said to Kelly, hot rod truck for Kelly's, the hot rod. And then we got Glenn sitting there going, I love driving an ugly truck. He likes driving his ugly truck. Glenn says he likes driving his ugly truck. He really does.
If I could get my truck to be half of what he drives, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I've seen what Glenn drives.
I mean, we both seen what he drives.
And the wife said if I quit spending money on my truck, she'd be happy.
That'd be true, too.
Well, I mean, you got to spend money to make money. Hell, I had to spend almost $7,000 2 weeks ago.
But that's a fuel pump. That ain't making it look pretty. That's actually making it work.
Yeah,
I mean, we know how you are. You already been sitting there talking to Talladega Fiberglass, and you're looking at a few others trying to figure out what color you really want the floor in your truck.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but I
we
did.
are.
But I did get that deal.
Well, it's good. I'm glad you did get that deal.
And the other coming in probably another 30.
In another 30 days.
They've got to kind of see how the
Yeah, fill everything out. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's fine. Yeah.
So, but yeah, $6,300 cut in the chrome fund. That could have done my seat, painted my dash, painted my floors, and put my stacks on my truck.
Yeah.
But it had to go in the motor.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the bad part about it was I was 200 miles from the house. Left home. That's what.
Yeah.
And
Well, I know we're coming up close to the next top of the hour, and looks like we're starting to die down a little bit. I figure we'll probably cut it off since it is a Sunday and everybody's going to have to work tomorrow.
I
I
don't.
figure we'll cut it off at the 2-hour mark. So I will say that. Dave
I'm
Newland
not
says
hurt.
he's back. Glenn says, Kelly, just buy his.
Give me your money, Glenn.
No, he just wants you to buy his truck. You buy his truck, he'll be happy.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about putting no money into it because he's already got it done for you.
I done got enough money. Oh, shit.
Don't go white. It sucks. Laugh out loud. Looks good, but sucks to keep clean. My interior is painted to match the outside, but white is a bitch to keep clean. Kelly's seen the inside of my truck already, and he knows what I am talking about.
Yeah, it's a bitch because everything in Glenn's truck is white. Every freaking
That's
thing.
just like that white Peterbilt that was down there at Semi-Casual. I mean, it was white pearl knobs, white pearl switches, chrome and white pearl dash, and it was the pearl, and it was that marble pearl floor that it had. You talk about something trying to keep clean with the white leather seats and everything. Yeah, I can see that would be a pain to keep clean.
Oh no, there's no brown in Glenn's truck. It's white from the dash to the floorboard to the sleeper.
You know what? You were breaking up a little bit.
I said his truck is completely white on the inside. Everything.
Huh.
Every bit of his truck's white.
So when he wakes up, he's dead awake. He ain't getting no sleep.
Yeah.
What's up, Charlie? You made it to the big time.
You see Uncle Charles?
Yep, you made it to the big time. You're actually on TV now. Are you going night nights?
You see Uncle Charles? Look. See Uncle Charles in the box?
Yeah, see, I'm in the box. I'm in that other box that you talked to Pepaw with.
Yeah.
Hey, what about a steering wheel, he says?
He got a little bitty fucking 14-inch steering wheel that I want so bad.
Really?
Yeah, he's
Small
got a
steering
steering
wheel?
wheel in that truck.
Wow.
Yep. It's actually a car steering wheel.
Makes it easier for him to steer, or is it just something he just relaxes and it's easier for him to get in and out of the truck?
It's just something different and unique. It's just a smaller steering wheel than what you would normally buy.
Yeah.
You know, at a truck, you know, at a chrome shop, instead of your standard 18, it's a 14. I like that.
So it actually makes it a little bit smaller all the way around. Nice.
I don't know if I could drive with a smaller steering wheel. Hell, I go home and I get my girlfriend's car. I can't drive the damn thing because the steering wheel's too small for me.
It turns too quick too, don't it?
Oh, yeah, it does.
You're like, oh man, I'm already here. Crap. I'm still waiting for a couple more turns. But don't feel bad there, Keith. He was doing the same thing when his wife got the new car. He was sitting there going, I can't drive this damn thing. He couldn't.
Yeah.
All the bells, the whistles, the dings, and everything. It was hilarious to sit there
Like,
watching try to drive it.
my wife got a brand new SUV and it's got all kind of crazy shit on it, and I'm like, this ain't gonna work. I can't do this. Too much technology.
As Glenn says, if it'll pop it up, come on now. There we go. Well, that's Roger McKay. He says, yep. Who do you get this 14-inch steering wheel? Where do you get this 14-inch steering wheel?
Chrome shop.
Down at the Chrome shop. And as Glenn says, it's easier once you get used to it. I love it. I love it. The black truck has a 22-inch steering wheel, and I hate it.
So that 14-inch steering wheel you get at the Chrome shop, I'm guessing that thing, the hub for it, is set up for the steering column for in a semi. Because it almost has to be, because the steering column in a car is so much smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't think you'd go in there, buy one, and then you have to do all the work on it yourself to get it to fit, to customize it to fit.
It'll bolt up just like an 18 or a 22 or whatever. It's the same bolt pattern. It's just the diameter of it smaller.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's still everything the same. You know, with your adapter kit and all of that, it still all bolts up the same way. It's
Gotcha.
Hey, Keith,
a lot
Hey.
smaller.
you can
Yeah, I was
find
going
it
to say,
at
I
that.
didn't think the
You
bolt
can find
pattern
it
could
at
be the same as the
used
car.
spare part truck stop or truck parts. You can find it at the used spare part truck stop over at the truck
Okay.
parts. Yeah, you can find it over there.
At the used Chrome shop.
Yeah, at the used Chrome shop. Yeah, used Chrome shop. Got to remember the used Chrome shop. Or as Roger McKay says, the forbidden Chrome shop.
Roger, they got them steering wheels at Danny's all day long.
That's why he said it's the forbidden Chrome shop.
Yeah, Danny's.
You talking Danny's out in my neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice place.
Yeah, when they have shit.
Yeah.
I was just out there the other day.
I will say that is
Well,
probably
Glenn said that steering wheel, I guess, is from what I'm understanding. He says it was in the truck when we got it, and it came out of Jersey. So whoever had it in Jersey is the one that put the 14-inch steering wheel on it.
That's a Cholo truck that Glenn's got.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a Cholo truck.
And then he says Texas DOT was telling me he liked it too while he was writing me a ticket a couple of months ago. Glenn, you're not supposed to catch his eye. You're supposed to sneak by him. Remember, sneak by him. Then let him look at it when you're stopped, not when he stops you. You forgot that part. You're supposed to stop after you pass him and he don't pull you over. And
I
Glenn
hope
said,
when you stopped at
Roger
Danny's
said,
the other day, you got your truck washed.
Do what?
I said, I hope when you were at Danny's the other day, you got your truck washed.
No. I was in a damn dirt parking lot over there in Buckeye. No.
Well, hell, everything's
Yeah.
dirt out there.
You're right, Glenn. You don't use them there, and you don't use them in Virginia either. Glenn put on there, don't use radar detectors while in Texas. Same thing in Virginia. Don't use them while you're in Virginia. It don't matter if you're in your car or truck. Even though they say you can have it in your car, they still like to pull it over and go, oh, you got a radar detector? Let me see that. Stick it under your front wheel and tell you to drive over. Yeah. Seen
Yeah,
that happen.
Virginia don't
way
like-
too many times.
Virginia don't like radar detectors.
No, they don't like, hey, they don't want you spying on them on how they cheat. No.
They don't like window tint either, but they can kiss my ass.
Hey, Glenn says this is the reason why you don't go to Texas with a radar detector. It comes with a pretty ticket of $340.
No shit.
Yeah. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, Minnie. Glenn says he gave it back to him after he wrote me my ticket. He looked at it. Oh, radar detector. Well, here, I'll let you have this back. Here's your ticket, too. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, I'm going to do one more video and then we'll wrap it up. Alrighty, here we go. Well, actually, I'll do two. This one.
Y'all gon' make me act a fool. Hey, yo, what's my name? What you got? Y'all gon' make me lose my cool.
I tried so hard.
What y'all really want?
It doesn't even matter.
What y'all really want?
Come on, tried so hard. Light it up in the darkness. We are heroes. Heroes in the darkest time when there is no light. Oh, we are heroes in the
Now, you want to know something that runs? That truck right there will run. That last one in that video,
Yeah, that red was.
I couldn't catch it.
I'm glad you didn't show that raggedy ass blue Volvo.
I know. I have to re-upload everything so that Volvo can sit there and rest for a couple of nights.
It's been resting.
Yeah. But I sat there, I caught him coming out of, he was coming from Miller Industries, coming up through 81. And I caught him. I won't give you the exact speed I was running, but
You're right.
yeah. I got enough to get ahead of him and have him come by and blow my doors again. Once we hit the Virginia line,
Look what Kit got.
yeah, that little thing kicked in. And yeah, I couldn't touch it. I couldn't touch it. I tried. That my speedometer was bouncing, and it said rev limiter, and I couldn't catch him.
He was stepping.
He was stepping, and it was still rolling. So for a brand new KW W900, yeah, that 75-ton was strolling.
And he was strolling at about 85,000 pounds.
Yeah, he was rolling.
Yeah.
There's a real nice tow truck out here. Runs up and down 99. You see a lot here in California. If you're out of Bakersfield, Fresno, somewhere in the Southern Valley. But it's a white four axles on the rear end. There's 5-axle total. Big rotator arm on that thing. Man, that thing is a beautiful, beautiful rig to, somebody gonna come pick my ass up off the highway. I want him to, that way I'm styling while I'm broken down.
That's
I heard that.
Charles, that's Pepe Show, and he's got 100.
Does he?
Yeah, Pepe's got one. Yep.
All right.
That dude's got some big shit.
Yeah, I'll have to reach out to him. I had a few others reach out to me here in the last couple of days, last week. And I got this here. This is the left lane with Lefty, but I got a couple of them that have come up. Now I got a few interviews. I got to switch the platform over a little bit and put it over into the left line and get the towing side back up and run it again. And get that out there because I do have quite a few of those. I put the word out to a few of my brothers over there that work at Johnson's Record. I got a few over there at Rush, which was Ace Record. Now it's going over to Rush. Rush now owns the towing company. So we'll be getting a few of them to come on. I still have my buddy Brent. I still got to get his, and I reached out to him. He has no problem. He's the one with the little, with the 50-ton 3-axle that sits on the other page that says left line. But Lefty, it's another group that's sitting there.
Have you tried to reach out to Steve?
Out to who?
Steve Kraut.
Not yet. Not yet. I also have James Crouch here. So I got to get with him. And then I got to get with Triad Freightliner, which is actually Triad Towing.
Yeah.
They actually have 6 or 7 of them. I got a couple of their videos. I know Billy personally. I'll get with him. I'm going to see if one of these weekends that I ain't got nothing planned, I'll do a ride along. And do a ride along and film a little bit of that and do an interview while we're driving.
Right.
So, well, say your piece. That way I'll finish it up and we'll be out of here exactly in 2 hours.
Yeah, I have
Anything you want to tell people?
Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And if you do, don't name it after me. Y'all ever need any help on anything, any questions, all you got to do is get a hold of one of us. We'll help you out the best we can. And I'm going to go get blood work done tomorrow and get ready to go back to work.
Gotta love that blood work. Gotta love it.
Yeah, gotta love going to the doctor and getting put on more medicine.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go make an appointment tomorrow to go in and do a checkup. So that way I can get the checkup done. Once the checkup is done, then that advances the door into the other. So I gotta set up an appointment tomorrow for when I can do it this week. So I'm working on it. It's coming together like a jigsaw puzzle, but it's coming together.
It's nice to go to the doctor just to, do a checkup and get your prescription refilled.
Yeah.
And you leave the doctor and instead of leaving the doctor on 2 medications, you're now on 4 medications.
Wow, Kelly. Wow.
Yeah, I went from 2
son.
to 4. And the bad part about the 2 I had, one was once a week and one was daily. Now I've got 3 that are daily and 1 that's once a week.
Man, you're just working it right on up there.
No, it's your BFF over there making me crazy.
Oh, my BFF is making you crazy. Well, tell your BFF I love her and I'll holler at her soon.
Love you too, BFF.
She's the one that got me on all these damn crazy pills so I don't kill nobody.
She did. I don't know about that. All her fault. All her fault.
Yep.
I don't know about all that. I think you were half crazy when you got with her.
Yeah, but I wasn't sprayed roach crazy yet.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm just crazy.
Wow. I'll bring Keith back in. I know you had to go out for a second, but hey, anything you want to tell the new driver or anybody you want to tell anybody, anything that you have on your mind as your closing statement?
Well, first off, if you're between LA and Bakersfield, I-5 pretty much is shut down going northbound. It looks like the fires are getting worse. The ash is falling out of the sky around here. But no, to new drivers, don't hesitate and don't be embarrassed to ask a veteran driver for help. 9 out of 10 of us aren't going to bite your head off. We're going to help you. We'd rather you be safe and get home to your family than, try and make an ass out of you. So you new drivers, don't hesitate to ask a veteran driver for help.
I heard that. Well, Mr. Keith, it was good to have you on here, and we will catch you on the next one. If you're able to join, I will send you another link, and we'll have you back on with another topic because we got a couple other things that's coming up, and I will be doing. I do want to announce that there is another truck show I will be going to. It is the Big Rig Showdown, which is going to be in Lebanon, Virginia. That's going to be at the end of July, somewhere around the end of July. I got the flyers and that they sent them to me. I'll get them and I'll post them up to let everybody know when they are. And if they're ever in the area, they'll know where to go and stop in for the weekend and enjoy the show. But, sir, I appreciate you. I'm glad you stopped in. Long time no talk to.
It's
I will be
been a
hollering
rough
at
4
you soon.
months. I've been hiding out the last 4 months dealing with everything with Kirsten and everything. So, yeah, it's just a hard 4 months. I've been kind of busy dealing with all that stuff. So,
Well, it's like the rest of us. We've all been doing changes, trying to get different things going, doing different things. And it's just, I'm trying to get caught back up with everybody and let them know, hey, we're still here. I'm not going anywhere. So,
yep.
and we're trying to get the information out there to the new people and to what's going on in the surrounding areas where these drivers are going to be. I know California's right now having it bad. I know up in Oregon, they're still having their issues. I know Illinois, this is going to be for the towing side. Over in Illinois, we've had a couple of heavies roll over because of people being stupid. And it wasn't two of them weren't because of the drivers of the trucks. It's the four-wheelers that were being stupid around them while they were trying to do what they had to do. But that will be another show, and that will be on Left Line with Lefty. And I'll have some interviews and stuff to go on out with some pictures to show what's going on. But I had to give it enough time to let people take care of what they needed to take care of because there's issues with it. So, but Mr. Keith, it was good seeing you. I'll holler at you later, sir.
All righty, guys. Have a good one.
You too. And Mr. Shelley, you take it easy. I know you've been doing a lot of housework. You've been doing a lot of remodeling, sanding, sheetrocking, new electrical, plumbing, new kitchen, and everything that's going in. Sorry I haven't been in touch with you the last couple of days. I've been busy trying to deal with stuff that's going on here. My daughter, grandkids, and that is just trying to mix a little family life in. And I just ain't been able to do that here lately. But yesterday and today was a good day. I actually, Mama was feeling a little bit better today. She actually got to spend time with the grandkids and she got to enjoy it and loved it. So, yes, BFF.
He said yes.
Love you too, BFF.
No, I was just worried about you. I hadn't heard from you, and that's not normal for me and you not to talk 5 or 6 times a day. I was like, "What the hell's going on? Is everything okay?"
Yeah.
Kind of.
No, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was out there spending time with my granddaughter and letting her have time with Pep all time. She needed some Pep all time.
Right.
She sat there and hounded her mama until she got to come to Pepal's house. So
yeah, see, I've got all mine in the house.
Yeah, I know.
All of mine.
But thing is, you're loving it though. You're loving them all being well. May not be the older ones, but you're definitely loving the grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because within the next day or two, you'll be back out on the road running, making money again. And then you'll be like, man, I miss my grandkids, man. I know.
Yeah, but you know what? I know when I come back to the house, that's going to be in the same spot I left.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. Yep.
So
home is what you make it. And your house is definitely made of love.
Yeah.
Especially with your family.
You know, people don't understand, the things we go through and the way we feel a lot of the times and the battles and everything else. But when I come home and I see my kids and my grandkids.
And my wife.
Yeah, and my mean ass wife, your BFF.
She ain't mean.
I kind of forget about all the problems. It kind of just everything goes away. I don't worry about shit. I don't have no stress. I'm not flipping the fuck out. I'm just being calm, cool, and collective.
Yeah.
You know, that's just. But when I leave again, the battle starts all over.
Yeah.
And it's just that's part of it. You know, that's
And
one.
that's what a lot of people don't understand with a trucking family, with an actual truck driver in the family. And you having a family, it really does make it pulls on the strings because you want to be home,
Yep,
but you know you got to be out there to make the money to keep the home.
exactly. You know, I mean, it just
And you got to play two different parts because you're playing two different worlds. You're playing your home world and work world, and they both fight against each other. And it is what it is.
you know, not only that, I mean, I'm playing 3 different roles, though, Charles. I'm playing a business owner. I'm playing, you know, my work life, my business life, and my home life. Trying to run all 3 of them on an equal level. And a lot of the times, my business comes 1st.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that damn truck out my driveway, that's what makes my house happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. One, I know what your thought is, but there's something that you might want to read. Can you read that?
No, I
It
can't.
says, "Oh, I'll be calling soon. Taking delivery this week."
I know
That's
exactly
from
what you're talking.
and that's from Roger McKay.
I know
So,
what he's saying.
yep.
That's good. I'm glad
And
he
Glenn says, "No blood work. Needle sucks." It does. And as he also says, old age is a bitch.
Shit, he's younger than I am.
I know.
Yeah, my birthday
And
was like,
hey, even though he was supposed to go to bed, he didn't. He says, "Hey, was Rooster cruising?"
go your old
He's
ass
talking,
and
he's
Paw.
talking about Glenn. Was the old Rooster cruising? You know, he's got to pick on somebody. Got to pick on somebody. But, all right, Kelly, I will holler at you sometime tomorrow and check on your brother. I'll let you know what's going on.
All right.
I've been trying to spend time with the family and enjoying what I can.
Yeah, I got to go get poked with needles tomorrow about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, that fun stuff.
Yeah, more work.
So, all right, brother. Peace
All right.
out. We'll see you.
All right, buddy.
Everybody, as you know, let me get that one off of there. But the main thing is we were talking about is safety, making sure your securements are straight, make sure where your area that you're going into, make sure you know what you're getting into. Check your surroundings. California is having some issues. They got fires going on again. So that's another big plague that's going to go on because a lot of 90% of the Northeast or Northwest, their vegetables, food, and stuff and that. I got a few friends that work for Potato King, John Freeze, Carla Williams. I got a few others that work over there. They go into California, pick up vegetables. They run reefers and they run them back north, and they run all the way up into Green Bay. They run all the way up in Wisconsin, even further on up, Washington, Idaho. I mean, they're constantly making sure the food gets there. But with the fires going on, you may see another thing on shortages on food, and that's what's going to suck. Then you got, like I said this morning, that was early this morning, basically late at night, depending on how you want to call it. But like he said, he heard about it. But yeah, there was a few trucks that were fired upon. So guys, if you're running in between 11 p.m. and about 4 in the morning in California, if you're around San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, any of those coming out, they're not hitting them as they're coming in because they know they can get caught. But they're hitting these trucks as they're coming out. They're being shot up. And they're not aiming for the driver. They're aiming for your fuel tanks, your airlines, stuff like that. It takes you a little bit to get out of town where you ain't got nowhere to go, but to stop there on the road, you ain't got nowhere to run. So protect yourself and make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings and what vehicles are coming up on you. But if you get in that kind of situation, if you start getting fired upon, you can tap them brakes. They're going to slow down and stop with you. So the best thing to do, from other scenarios that I've heard from other drivers, the best thing to do when they do, tap the brakes, let them back off, throttle that truck, max it out, do whatever. If you're close enough, they're shooting, hey, so be it. Maneuver it. You're looking at saving your life now. Just giving you suggestions. I'm not sitting there telling you exactly what you need to do. Just giving you suggestions. Protect yourself at all costs. That truck and that load does not mean your life. Your life means your life to get back home to your kids, your wife, your husband, your family. That's what matters. So with that, Left Lane with Lefty, we'll be out of here. Y'all have a safe night. Be good out there. Don't do anything stupid, but just keep the sunny side up, rubber side down, and keep on smiling and have a good day. That's what I can say. And we're going to do this. We're going to go out with a couple of them. So.
She was just a baby. Hey, wait, press upon me another cup of coffee. Pop it down, jack me up, shoot me out, flying down the highway. Looking for the morning.
At the starting of the week, at Summit Talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See those leaders start.
All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move that could be my last. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal.
Every time I hit the corner, I'll be turning heads. I'll be turning heads. I'll be turning heads.
Rolling like Jesse James, the modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys.